Welcome back to the Star Trek Critic. Today's episode to be trashed is Who Watches the Watchers? And as we all know, who is the first baseman?
Well, then who's playing first?
Yeah.
I mean, the fellow's name on first base.
Who?
This is your typical Star Trek First Contact episode. And as usual, in a first contact situation, they screw it up every single time. The first point is lost for the black square on the back panel, and normally an extra crosses in front of the turbolift before somebody comes out, but this time it was Captain Picard. The next point is lost because during an explosion, humans do not climb up and over and out a window like that. The next point is lost for the duck blind because Ben Hawkins would have seen them drill a hole in the side of that rock, and Palmer fell up that lip of the rock and then down, so one more point is lost. And I don't understand why a three-man team needs such a powerful generator too. That is a waste of taxpayer money. They could have sent Vulcan anthropologists who would fit right in with a normal population. And he said three-man station when one of them is a woman. That's sexist. Picard says who are, not who is. So I guess there are two first basemen. These proto-Vulcans are at a human Bronze Age level, which at the time was still very religious. So why are they having such a fit when Loki claims he had a religious vision? Check this out, they actually beam down with a spare doctor. Riker sees something in the distance. Liko and Oji see it too. Oji says it's the second baseman. Liko says it's the third baseman. But this is what they're all really seeing. Riker cools off by singing his favorite Mother Mother song. There's static electricity everywhere. Maybe they shouldn't touch things with their bare hands. Liko witnesses Martinez beam out with Warren. Another point lost here. That shock would not throw Liko over the little lip right outside the window. Someone on the bridge says, "I number one." The whole show revolves around Liko, but they all didn't realize OG witnessed an alien abduction. OG's like, how'd they do that? Back on the Enterprise, Jean-Luc and Beverly have a lover's quarrel. Minus 1 point for not putting a curtain around the alien so he can't see the future. Here's where we learn Captain Picard and Captain Kirk have the same regard for alien life.
Let them die.
Picard wants her to fry his brain cells. This is Beverly's way of saying, you don't need to mansplain to me that I wasn't here last year. 1 point is lost for leaving a loose medical device next to a Bronze Age proto-Vulcan. The lieutenant on the bridge says, I number two. Loki witnesses an alien autopsy. Wow, a curtain around Loki would have solved all their problems, wouldn't it? When it comes to primitive humanoids, Picard's a bit of an asshole, isn't he? The aliens dropped the farmer off in the nearest cornfield after they finished their experiments on him. Liko and Oji both witness a miracle, sparking all their old religious beliefs. 1 point is lost because the stars aren't moving in the background. And now they are. Look closely. Data says the rock formations on the planet confused the ship's sensors. Dr. Crusher states the obvious, then Deanna mansplains the obvious to Dr. Crusher. Oh, there's gonna be a cat fight after this one. And minus 1 point for Deanna wearing the cat suit. Riker has a plan. Of course, Lucy always had a plan too, and that never went over good either, did it? According to the stardates, about 8 hours have passed. The Enterprise has a crew of over 1,000. Why did they not get Vulcans to go on this emergency rescue mission? They would fit right in, so minus 1 point. Riker is wearing cut-off jean shorts and knee-high boots. That's so gay. And now he gets excited by the fact that his girlfriend might whore him out for services. What a pervert. Shout out to the set designers. This outdoor scene and indoor scene are miles away from each other in real life and shot on different days, but they flow together very nicely. There they go again. They say the first baseman can vanish like smoke and reappear at will. 1 point is lost here. Liko does not speak English, so when he was in sickbay on painkillers, he would not be able to understand that the overseer's name was Picard. Nuria is the level-headed one. She is trying to talk them out of the visions they had since the Mintakans has been naturally veering away from religious beliefs. In the world of non-interference, this means the aliens should not interfere and let nature take its course. So minus 1 point here. Deanna says, let's interfere and screw this up even more. Now Deanna added shared dreams to their fading religious beliefs. And minus 1 point for giving them your real names. Now they found Palmer, and they're thinking, hey, his name rhymes with Riker. Now Riker prays to the Picard and says, we have a problem. And it's a terrible mistake to tell Picard he is a god here. Look at how it's already gone to his head.
M-N-O-P
I could go on all day.
The expert in anthropology says, the damage has been done, just beam them all out of there and call it a day. Picard says, no, we all swore an oath to run first contact everywhere we go, even if it means sacrificing our lives. Another reminder, Star Trek never follows the teachings of Yoda. That's what she said. Palmer already looks dead. They really need to beam him up. Now they debate on what to do with the fallen angel. Liko wants to tie him up. Riker decides to run the situation even more by insulting their religion. Now this gets Nuria involved. They may be moving away from their religion, but they still have it. And a stranger insulting them will just encourage them to embrace it even more. Riker and Troy really suck at this, don't they? And memories of the flood last year isn't helping at all right now, is it? Oh look, Deanna finally came up with a plan. They say, Finto, you stay here. Finto's like, oh good, just leave the old guy to watch the fallen angel while you all have fun. Now they sing the Bring Your Bow song. It's a lot like Baby Shark. Okay, this scene looks really familiar. I think they stole it from some movie. Riker sees the opportunity, but will he screw it all up? He already screwed up. -1 point for not putting a bag over Finto's head and beaming away right there, and oh, -1 point for picking up a wounded person. If someone falls off a cliff and breaks their bones, never pick them up. 300 years in the future, internal bleeding will still kill you. So don't watch Star Trek to learn first aid. Another point lost for not beaming up right when you get outside. -1 point for using a blunt-tipped arrow. And that is not a Bronze Age bow, so -1 more point. I'm sure the directors thought this rock formation looked really cool, but Data said the scanners had a tough time with these rocks, so -1 point for trying to beam through it. This is not the position they started in, so 1 point is lost, and -1 more point for picking him up off the ground. Look at that, he's broken, they picked him up. 1 point lost for a single set of doors on the fake turbolift, and 1 point lost because Riker changed back to human too fast. Another point lost. Deanna's anti-overseer speech is going to get her killed and just run first contact here. She should have said it was safer for them if the overseer dealt with Palmer away from the village. That would have been an easy fix, but they didn't do it. Picard maneuver number 1. Liko and Nuria argue over the future of Deanna. Just beam her out of there. The overseer does Picard maneuver number 2. And now Dr. Barron has a terrible idea too. Seriously, the damage is done. They should just beam Deanna out and take off. Now the next point is lost for this entire conversation. Seriously, everything they say violates non-interference. Giving them guidelines? That's exactly what gods did. And why are they so convinced that this one vision of an alien abduction will create an entire religion? Picard accuses them of false belief. It seems he forgot that Ito had a god, and the Bajorans are in close contact with their gods, and so many other races they come upon have some type of superior race watching over them. Picard must be a total socialist atheist here with his speech. As far as he is concerned, religion destroys humanity. He's an explorer. Does he look down on the religious species he meets? And why is he always collecting ancient religious artifacts? Even the Vulcans have a religion. Picard is just so full of shit right now, it's unbelievable. And now, Picard is going to perform an illegal alien abduction and show Nuria how the sausage is made. Obviously, he never watched Ancient Aliens, since they study religious texts religiously and described that was what was going on in our history thousands of years ago. Deanna's thinking, just beam me out of here. And why don't they beam me up with Nuria? I guess that would make too much sense. Data says I number 3, but he's not the one that beams Nuria up. Picard relieves Ensign Hoy, who joined Starfleet just so he could abduct aliens. Nuria is beamed aboard, and the first thing she says is, "You're the first spaceman, and -1 point for abducting an alien." The overseer's gonna be pissed when he finds out. And the crewman walks by, she's thinking, oh look, Picard steals women from the planet just like Kirk did. Now he shows her the planet from space, and the first thing she's thinking is this.
What does God need with a starship?
Another point is lost since all the Mintakan continents look alike. Now Picard mansplains to Nuria. He is a sexist god. At this camera angle, the stars in the background are not moving, so 1 point lost. Here is the proof the Mintakan overseer is the first baseman, Who taught the others? Who taught the children? Who built a stronger hut? Who built a better bow? But Nuria says, no, the Overseer is the third baseman, not the first baseman. And this is a terrible mistake on Picard's part because he doesn't explain that thousands of years passed from living in caves to flying in spaceships. But now we have a bit of a problem outside.
Return, my child.
The Overseer is pissed and created a storm. So why aren't they going inside? I do feel sorry for Liko though, because he lost his wife last year and he's really upset about it. And since he was brought back to life, he's convinced if he does the right thing, the Overseer will bring his wife back to life too, but he just doesn't know how to do it. Finto says, hey Deanna, you're kinda cute. Too bad we gotta kill ya. That is not the Stargazer, so -1 point. Nuria says, thank you for this beautiful gift. Then she has a question. If your people are so peaceful, why do you have the most invasive species of fish in your aquarium? Is that an example of colonization? When Picard says he can't bring the lost ones back to life, she accuses him of being the left fielder. How insulting can you get? Picard takes Nuria to sickbay so she can witness another alien autopsy. Warren dies, and the last words she said to Dr. Barron were, the sex was good. 1 point is lost for nobody tackling Liko. Don't talk somebody out of it, just tackle him. Another point lost for the modern day bow and the blunt tip arrow. Liko calls for the Picard, and the Picard shows up. And -1 point for Picard showing up. Liko is so desperate to have his wife brought back to life, he's not thinking rationally. But no one there grabs that bow and arrow from him to keep him safe, so -1 point. Liko also calls Picard the left fielder. 1 point is lost for Picard not getting the hell out of the way. That blunt-tipped arrow can cause a lot of damage.
Y'all shoot your eye! Y'all shoot your eye!
And there he goes. That was stupid of not moving out of the way. And look, he has red blood, not green blood like the Proto-Vulcans. They say they're dismantling the observation post, but they're probably just going to go to the other side of the planet. Geordi says eye number 4. Now Picard has to explain to the Mentakans why they were being spied on all the time like they were on the Truman Show. And again they call the Overseer the left fielder. Look closely, the gift they give him will have a cameo a few times in later episodes. Picard thinks this solved the whole problem, but obviously he has never watched Ancient Aliens because this is how all those problems start. And now the Mentakans are going to build this, and this, and this. Nuria says the Force will be with you. Picard says, always. They have one final moment together while Picard is secretly thinking, wait a minute, and the man who would be king, Sean Connery posed as a god, and he got laid all the way through the movie, and I got squat. I better have a talk with my agent. The last 2 points are lost because Worf only had 2 lines in this show, and Wesley was not in it at all. So let's find out who the Mentakans were. Tim Trella was Palmer and Borg and has 170 screen credits as a stuntman. Michael Braveheart left us in 2022. He is in a lot of episodes as Crimin Martinez and will be back in the movies, Voyager, and Enterprise. Lois Paul was Warren and has 75 screen credits. Hallie was James McIntyre with 35 screen credits. John McLiam has 175 screen credits, including Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, Planet of the Apes, and T.J. Hooker. Pamela Adlon played Oji. Her voice has earned her a whopping 230 screen credits as a voice actress. James Green was Baron with 115 screen credits. He will be back on Quantum Leap, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Councilman Milton on Parks and Recreation. Ray Wise was Liko with 250 screen credits, including T.J. Hooker, Twin Peaks, and he will be back on Voyager. Catherine Lee Scott, of course, was Maggie Evans in Dark Shadows. Yes! She was also on Space 1999, The Incredible Hulk, and The A-Team. Who Watches the Watchers, where we learn the human race will evolve into those same ancient aliens that pissed off our own ancestors thousands of years ago, gets a score of 63%. Yes! Thanks for viewing. Be sure to leave comments below, click that like button, the share button, that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.